So thanks everyone for being here. My name is Mayel. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager of Jakarta EE at the Eclipse Foundation. And the title of my presentation is Jakarta EE 10, Why and How to Get Involved. So as you can see, we have a celebration badge there, which is the 5th anniversary of Jakarta EE since Java EE was migrated to the Eclipse Foundation 5 years ago. And Jakarta EE 10 actually signifies the first release where we truly issued new specifications and innovations within the existing specifications. And we are really excited about the fact that our community was able to prospect new specifications, and we're here to celebrate that. So first, let me talk a little bit about the Eclipse Foundation. The Eclipse Foundation was established around 18 years ago. We now have over 415 projects, 320 members, around 1,800 committers, over 50 people, professional staff, 20 working groups, but we also have around 332 million lines of code, which is a very good indicator of a dynamic and growing community that we have at the Eclipse Foundation. And Jakarta EE is a part of that overall success within the foundation. So to put Jakarta EE into context with a number of our other initiatives within the Eclipse Foundation around open Java and cloud-native Java in particular, Jakarta EE, in addition to Jakarta EE, we have another specification group called Microprofile. In tooling, we have Eclipse Che, which is a web-based tooling for Java developers. And in enterprise Java, we have Eclipse Glassfish, we have Jetty, Vertex, and in Java SE side, we have Adoptium, which is an enterprise-grade Java SE runtimes for OpenJDK, and we have OpenJ9, which is our virtual, which is our version of virtual machine or Java virtual machine. So Jakarta is a part of this Java community that we have at the Eclipse Foundation. So the Jakarta EE working group has been with the Eclipse Foundation for about 5 years now, and it's an industry consortium that is responsible for building the community, developing and approving specifications, driving the awareness around the Jakarta EE brand, establishing the technical roadmap for future releases, and ensuring compatibility. So compatibility is actually one of the success factors for enterprise Java, initially Java EE and now Jakarta EE. And as I go through this, you'll see that the number of compatible implementations are growing within the Jakarta EE space. So looking at Jakarta EE at the Eclipse Foundation, just by the numbers, you can see that we have around 29 member organizations, which represents around 40% growth year over year, and that's something that we're really proud of. We have around 175 committers working on 55 open source projects. That includes TCKs, compatible implementations, and the specifications. We have around 154 Git repositories, and 18% growth year over year in terms of line of code, which is 76 million right now. So that actually is a good representative of the fact that we have a very growing and dynamic community within the Jakarta space. But what is Jakarta EE? So Jakarta EE is all about the specifications. And with the specifications, we're talking about a specification document, APIs. It can be a number of APIs or no APIs. It can be a document or a Java doc. And that's actually an artifact of what the specification is. But we need compatible implementations to be able to verify and implement that specifications. And that is what the TCKs are for. Test compatibility kit that can verify the specification, and we need at least one compatible implementation to, say that that specification is final. So that's what, when we're talking about Jakarta, we're talking about the specifications. But what is new? What is going on in Jakarta world? So we have a steering committee and we have a marketing committee at the Jakarta Working Group, and they work on coming up with a program plan every year and a marketing plan to be able to achieve our priorities and objectives in terms of the technical direction for Jakarta EE and creating awareness in the industry and in the world. So Jakarta EE is underway. The committee is already working on that. I'll go through some slides to explain what is going on there. And then Jakarta EE10 was released in October last year. I'll explain what are the key features. And we have a number of Jakarta One live stream events that are virtual events, one-day events. A couple of them are in local language, which I think a couple of years ago we have one in Turkish, and I'm hoping that we can have more in the future. But this year we have one in Chinese, we'll have one in Spanish and one in Portuguese. And we have an annual one which is in December 5, so feel free to join that. The registration will be open soon if you want to know more about Jakarta and the updates. As I mentioned, the list of compatible implementations are growing, our members are growing, and we are truly, what we're doing is that we're seeing a community-driven vision that is shaping the new Jakarta EE projects and the specifications. So looking at the history of Jakarta EE, and I'm talking about Jakarta EE 8 release, 9, 9.1, we're talking about moving Java EE 8 into the Eclipse Foundation and establishing a new specification process and establishing a vendor-neutral open community guiding the development of cloud-native Java and basically building the enterprise Java. And Jakarta EE10 is where we actually got to use that new process, and the community really rallied around creating new innovations within cloud-native Java and enterprise Java for enterprise Java developers. And as I mentioned, right now the work has started around Jakarta EE 11. So that's where we are now, and but all of this has been backed and supported by various members. We literally wouldn't be here without the help and support from Oracle. Red Hat was instrumental in getting EE10 out the door, and then we have a number of other members and also individual committers and contributors that help us to make these releases happen. And that's a great indication that we have leaders among companies and individuals that help us make Jakarta EE successful. So another success and great thing to celebrate is the compatibility program. So since Java EE, which is 10 years ago, we never had, if not the compatible implementations and companies that were involved, flatline or even decline. But right now with Jakarta EE, we're seeing an increased number of compatible implementations. And looking at the numbers, just from last year until 4 months in 2023 now, we are seeing an increase from 33 compatible platform products into 43 and 14 web profiles versus 20 web profiles, and we already have 4 core profiles. If you're interested to check the list of the full compatible implementation, you can check Jakarta EE at compatibility. So Jakarta EE10 is modernized, simplified, and light-based. These are the key themes for Jakarta EE10. And what we really are excited about is a new profile called Core Profile. So since, as I mentioned, since Java EE, we never had a new profile being added to specifications, but now we have a new core profile, which is basically targeting smaller runtimes and is a subset of web profile, and that is also a subset of platform, which might not be the case for future, but as of now, that is the case. But why is it important and why are we excited is because smaller runtimes are able to become compatible implementations. So another new specification that was added, and it's a whole new one, is CDI Lite, which facilitates use in more restrictive environment, new API extensions, dynamic at build time, and removal of deprecated API components. So another key update that was done in EE10 was Jakarta EE Security 3.0. So 2.0 was all about moving to new Java space. There wasn't really a huge update, but here we are supporting OpenID Connect, and there are some minor updates to lower level APIs that we're seeing here. And then, as I mentioned, Jakarta EE Core Profile targets smaller runtimes. And then we have updates to Jakarta Persistent 3.1, which is UUID as basic Java type. And then we have extending query language and query API. And another specification that has gone through some updates is Jakarta RESTful Services 3.0, updated API with backwards compatibility. Standardizes a Java SE Bootstrap API, multi-part form data support. But if you're interested to see, all the updates that were done to the specifications, you can check our Jakarta EE/release/10 page, which is basically a one-stop shop for all information around Jakarta EE10 and the updates that were made to these specifications. So the work on Jakarta EE11 has started, as I mentioned. There was a document where community members were invited to, voice their opinions, tell us what they're looking for as in terms of new features for Jakarta EE11. But right now, there are discussions in the issues. You can scan the QR code there and join the conversation there and let us know what you're looking for EE11. So we are targeting release date of Q1 next year. And basically, this release is targeting support of Java SE version 21. And there are some possible new specifications, Jakarta NoSQL, Jakarta Data, and Jakarta RPC. This is the conversation as of now. But as I mentioned, if you're looking for more or you have some opinion, please join the conversation on the GitHub issues. So another request and help that you can do for us is participating at the 6th Jakarta EE developer survey that we have there. So with that, we can understand what you think the priorities are for future releases and understand what you guys think are the requirements for future cloud-native Java developments. So please, it takes less than 6 minutes. We already have over 1,400 responses. The survey closes on 25th of May, but we want to hear from all of you. So please participate. But for you to know how and why you should get involved in Jakarta EE, the why is because, you get to enhance your skills. You get to work with the best industrial leaders from all over the world and learn from them. And the other reason is that it's very flexible. You can work from anywhere in the world. You're not tied to any specific location. And then you can make an impact into the technical direction of the technology and what the future sets for cloud-native Java in the future. And of course, you'll get to work with industrial leaders to get there. And the other reason is that you will get visibility by contributing and getting involved. And by that is we are doing our best and trying our best to give you visibility. If you have an article, you can be featured in our newsletters, on our website, or we, on a regular basis, we recognize the efforts from our contributors on our social media. Here's an example. You can see our top 10 Jakarta EE specification contributors, which we announce on a quarterly basis on our social media channels. And, as a token of appreciation, we send some swag and gifts to them as a token of appreciation to them. But how you want to get involved. So there is some information. We have a page that you can see the URL up there. You can check that out. There are different ways that you can contribute. And you can become a contributor, a committer. You can get involved in different projects. Or it can be as a small engagements as just getting, become a part of a mailing list, understand what the conversation is there. So to see if you're interested, and in future you can just get involved in terms of contributions. But what you need to start with is to sign the Eclipse Contributor Agreement. But if your company is already a member organization of Jakarta EE Working Group, you already have that in place and you don't need to do anything. So what you can help with? We get that question asked a lot because everyone thinks that contribution means that you need to contribute to a new code, very exciting, it has to be rocket science, something that hasn't been there before, but it's not about that. It can be as small as a simple contribution in terms of developing an asset, helping with marketing, getting the word out there, promotional efforts, or it can be definitely a technical work, working on the specifications or APIs and specification documents, or it can be work on TCKs, working on compatible implementation and so on. So it can be either technical or marketing material. But how you can get started, you just need to create an Eclipse Foundation account. There you can select the project that you're interested in. And then from there, it can be, some of the examples are implementation projects, specification projects, or TCK. And then from there, you can subscribe to a mailing list. That's where the community usually, make discussions around the work that is being done. And, you can find a repository that you're interested in. And other ways, we have a whole page that explains how you can get connected to the community and get involved. So here, as you can see, you can join the working group mailing list. You can join the community mailing list. We have regular tech talks where you can become a speaker. You just need to sign up there and talk about cloud native Java technologies or Jakarta EE or microprofile if you're interested. Or you can join our newsletter and get regular updates about Jakarta EE. And with that, I'll open it to questions if you guys have any questions. So these are some of our channels, our Twitter channel, our website. And if you, on the first slide, you could see my Twitter handle and my email. If you have any questions or you want to get in touch, please feel free to do so. Any questions, comments? Well, I assume I did great. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.